How's it going, YouTube? Coming to today with another video, and today, guys, the video is going to be the Banlist prediction. Now, this is going to be very interesting because we just got Justice Hunters, and that really shook up the format. Very reminiscent of Pote format, where we got a new set, and it just basically became a Banlist, right? So that's going to be very interesting to see what does get hit, but there's definitely some cards that need to be addressed. If you haven't already checked my sponsors over on Gem, Cloud, Arla, Imperium, Dragonshield, RW, MainPhaze, or Grimoire, definitely go and do so all down below in the description. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we're on our way to 30,000 subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's hop running into the ban list. My first prediction today is going to be Moon, and I don't really think that this surprises anyone just because of the fact that it's really generic and it's something that just gets any deck into the Fiendsmith cards, let alone Yummy doing it now, right? Like, I think that's kind of crazy because just one of the newest best decks, of course, just abusing one of the best engines we have right now, right? So I think that Fiendsmith by itself is very fair, and I think that a tier 2.5 or 3 deck like Live Twin that has the Link 1 that can get you into the Fiendsmith engine is fine. The issue is when we have a super generic card that can be used in just about any deck to go ahead and get into the Fiendsmith cards. Therein lies the issue. So in my opinion, I think banning Moon is the correct answer, just to make the engine a little less consistent to be able to get to, where now you either have to like combo to the cards, open the cards, or just find a way in a deck that is not as great to go ahead and just play the cards through a Light Fiend that you can just like go into Requiem from, right? I have the same issue with King of the Feral Imps. This is just way too generic. Decks like Orcust abuse this, Ryziel abuse this. There's so many different variants of Mitsurugi right now just because they can go through King of the Feral Imps and start searching the Mitsurugi cards and then start comboing that way. I really want to see this card banned just because I want to see Mitsurugi become its own thing, but I also want to see some additional hits to that deck, which you'll see because the pure variant of the deck is still very strong by itself. Paradise Smasher, I don't really think that anyone's surprised about this. This is a card that just has to go. Very reminiscent of every other very broken card that we've had that just says your opponent can't play the game. This is just another one that says your opponent can't play. So this is a card that definitely should be banned. I hope it gets banned. It's something that just needs to go. I've talked about this before. This is like my big brain hit to be able to just like nerf Malice as much as possible right now. Banning MTP makes the deck play on a very different plane. Right now, the deck has multiple banishes. This can get you to a March Hare if you need it, or follow-up. I think that forcing the deck to play the TB11 or the GWC in the main deck is really smart, just because it's going to make the deck shift in such a way that it's going to have to play different. The end board's going to be a bit different. The extenders are going to be a bit different. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the deck would do if this was the ban. But following the ban would also be a limit to Doormouse because this is the best one card starter the deck has. And putting this to 1 is going to be one of the best options to go ahead and slow this deck down. Neither of these hits will absolutely kill the deck, but it's something that will put the deck into a new frame as far as how the deck is going to function moving forward. The next hit is going to be Mitsurugi Prayers to 1. I think this is just the best option right now. This card is really obnoxious in the draw phase. I really like it if your opponent is able to just go to MainPhaze and then use Habakiri, so you can at least droll your opponent if you have to after they use the effect of Saji. Whereas if your opponent's just using Prayer and Draw and you have Droll, you just kind of stare at your Droll and you're like, well, this isn't going to do as much as it could, right? Prayers is also a really ridiculous card because you can just keep adding multiple copies and then set another one for the follow-up turn and have something to bring back your Mirakumo, and it's just a card that really needs to go to 1. I think this would be really helpful, especially in the format right now where Mitsurugi is still the best deck in my opinion, especially with like the whole Metaltronus thing going into the Yummy builds right now, because this is still going to be one of the best things we have at the moment, especially now because Miracle Raven, which is a very good card, and people are playing Mitsurugi Yummy. So this is a problem. This needs to get addressed immediately, and I really hope that it does. Limiting X, I think this is fine, especially if we start seeing a pair with like a Bonfire ban, and then your opponent has to play things like 7 Tachyon, which I think is fine. But X being at 1 is even going to be harder now to open it, which is fantastic. If your opponent has to like 7 Tachyon for this, because they can't just like hard open it as much anymore, I think that's perfectly fine. The format right now has so much other things going on where I think that having a lot of consistency hits right now to the already dominating decks is going to be enough. Because again, we already saw the Justice Hunter set usher in a new ban list by itself, right? So I think that alongside an actual ban list, this would be a really good hit for the deck. I think Glow Up Bulb's a given right now, considering that Konami posted the sample picture of Glow Up Bulb for literally no reason. And I think this was just like their subtle hint of being like, hey, it's going to be at 1. So I think that's pretty cool. That's what I'm banking on right now, and I really don't see why it wouldn't come off. I think that it's fine at 1. We talked about this before. But the really ominous, random, just like no context glow bulb drop, I think was just like an early reveal at something that's going to 1. So I would pick up your glow bulbs now just so you have them and that you're ahead of the curve. And then Unlimiting Summon Sorc. It's very interesting that we don't have this card back yet, even though like we already got the errata announced. Very interesting. I wonder what Konami's afraid of with this. Even though there is a lot of mono archetypes right now. So this is something that could still do a lot of damage in a format. And I'm pretty sure Konami is very aware of that. So definitely interested to see. But I'm sure they'll get this card back. There's not really a reason for it to still be gone. But this is my ban list right now because I don't really feel like we need too many hits at the moment. I think a couple very impactful hits are going to be very helpful for the format. I think it keeps the format very healthy, and there's going to be quite a few different decks right now, and I don't really find a reason to just outright kill anything, but I do think that there's going to be quite a few things to worry about in the room, and I think having cards like Paradise Smasher gone is going to be very helpful right now, especially with deck building, because you don't have to worry about getting shut out immediately. Definitely go ahead and check out my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you.